Although the u.k.subs were part of the original punk movement in England, the band originally started playing as part of the pub rock scene under the name the Marauders. In 1976, after seeing a couple of punk rock shows at the Roxy, the band decided to become a punk rock band, changing their name at first to the Subversives, but later modifying it to the u.k.subs. The band consisted of founder Charlie Harper, guitarist Nicky Garratt, bassist Paul Slack, and a drummer who went under the name Rory Lyons. By the time the band recorded their first single, Pete Davies had replaced Lyons and was the band's regular drummer. Their style combined the energy of punk and the rock and roll edge of the then thriving pub rock scene. The band's first 6 hit singles, including Stranglehold, Warhead, Teenage and Tomorrow's Girls, all managed to enter the top 40 of the UK singles chart. Their first 4 albums would also make the UK charts. However, they never had another single or album make the charts after. 1981. The first 2 songs released by the band were on the April 1978 Farewell to the Roxy album. The 2 songs I Live in a Car and Telephone Numbers were recorded live at a December 1977 show at the Roxy. The u.k.subs were the first band on the bill at the show that night with Rory Lyons on drums. The recording of this show was later released as the album Life Kicks in 1980. In 1978, the band released their first single CID on City Records, a UK-based underground label. The band played 2 John Peel sessions in 1978, and a third in June 1979 for BBC Radio 1. These sessions were subsequently released together on a single album Peel Sessions in 2003. Also in 1978 the band played some opening gigs for The Police. In 1979 Julien Temple wrote and directed a short film Punk Can Take It, a parody of wartime documentaries that consisted mainly of u.k.subs playing live on stage. The film was released theatrically. In May 1979 the band signed to GEM Records, a punk rock offshoot of RCA Records. Their first single for GEM, Stranglehold, was released in June 1979. It was followed by Tomorrow's Girls, which was released in August 1979. Their debut album Another Kind of Blues was released in October 1979, with their second album Brand New Age following in April 1980. Several EPs were also released in this period, and their singles Teenage and Warhead both made the UK charts. Their third album, a live album entitled Crash Course, was recorded at the Rainbow Theatre in London on May 30, 1980, during the Brand New Age tour. Released in 1980, it was their biggest. In June 1980 Davies and Slack left the band and were replaced with bassist Alvin Gibbs and drummer Steve Roberts. At this point some of the songs took on a more heavy metal-influenced edge. In February 1981 the band released their 4th album, Diminished Responsibility, which was the final u.k.subs album to chart in the UK. In April 1981 they released the non-album single Keep On Running, their 6th single for GEM and the last single by the u.k.subs to chart in the UK. It was also their last release on GEM Records as the label folded soon after the release of the single. The band recorded their next album at the rural Jacobs studio in Farnham, Surrey, in the south of England. Endangered Species was released March 19, 1982 on the band's new label NEMS, which also folded shortly after the release of the album. Harper and Garratt both consider this album to be the u.k.subs' best album. Following the recording of the album, Steve Roberts was fired at the end of 1981 and the subs used both Mal Aisling and John Tao as replacements. The band toured the US in support of the album, hoping to get signed to a US label. It was their second tour of the US, the first occurring in 1979. In July 1982 they became the first Western band to perform in Poland since the imposition of martial law and the suppression of the trade union Solidarity. Their concert was held in Gdansk and they were supported by Brigada KRYZYS. In 1983 the band released the 3-song Shake Up the City EP on Abstract Records, also recorded at Jacobs Studios. Drummer Kim Wiley played on the EP, and for the subsequent tours of the UK, Europe and the US, they again played several concerts in Poland in 1983 with new wave Polish band Republica. Differences in musical direction, as well as the inability to secure a US record deal, led to Gibbs, Garratt, and Harper going their separate ways. Although Harper would continue to use the u.k.subs name with frequently changing members backing him, the three would reunite for the first time in July 1988 to record Killing Time. In 1991, u.k.subs also had Lars Fredriksson on guitar for a 30-date UK tour. Decades after the disbanding of other late 1970s punk groups such as the Sex Pistols and The Clash, u.k.subs continued to perform. The u.k.subs song Down on the Farm was covered by Guns N' Roses on their 1993 covers album The Spaghetti Incident. u.k.subs joined the bill for the 2006 Fiend Fest. The band have toured with the Misfits, the Addicts, Osaka Popstar, Agent Orange, and the Ramones. The u.k.subs song Warhead is played in the movie This Is England. u.k.subs are one of the regular bands to play the Rebellion Festival nearly every year since its origins as the Holidays in the Sun Festival in 1996. In 2002, the band was featured with DRI and the 8 Bucks Experiment on a compilation 7-inch record called Fuck You Punks Vol 3 with an anti-terrorist song called Terrorista. In 2007, drummer Jamie Oliver was a contestant on the UK quiz show Nothing But the Truth. Vocalist Charlie Harper was among the panel of witnesses. Oliver reached the £5,000 mark, but lost it all in a bid to double his winnings. To celebrate 40 years since its release, Demon Records issued a special edition copy of Another Kind of Blues in a box set of 210-colored vinyl on April 13, 2019. This was soon followed by the next album in succession, Brand New Age, on July 12, 2019. Crash Course and Diminished Responsibility have also been reissued, and Cleopatra Records has released an expanded version of Endangered Species. In September 2021, to celebrate 40 years since the band's concert at u.k.subs, the official live cassette of the show was re-released on CD and download as Danger the Chaos tape via Cherry Red.